Hello, history buffs. Today we will take a journey through the history of North and South America, from the time of the supercontinent Pangea to the modern era. From the collapse of continents to the emergence of humans, the impact of colonization, slavery, and development, America has seen it all. So, brew some tea, grab some cookies, and get ready to dive into the fascinating history of North and South America. But first, there will still be a bit of nerdiness so you understand what moved and where, and so. About 200 million years ago, the supercontinent Pangea began breaking up into two massive continents known as Laurasia and Gondwana. Gondwana included South America, Africa, Antarctica, Australia, and the Indian subcontinent. Over millions of years, Gondwana continued to break apart. South America separated from Africa about 100 million years ago and then from Antarctica about 30 million years ago. Meanwhile, North America was formed by a different set of tectonic movements. The eastern edge of North America was formed by the collision of the North American and African plates about 300 million years ago, and the western edge was formed by the subduction of the Pacific plate under the North American plate about 200 million years ago. Phew, I think we got it right. Hope you understood my outline. If so, give it a thumbs up. And so to continue, the resulting landmasses, North and South America, have been home to a variety of flora and fauna throughout their history. Before humans came, North America was home to large mammals such as mammoths, mastodons, and giant sloths, as well as predators such as saber-toothed cats and stern wolves. South America was home to a unique range of animals, including giant ground sloths, glyptodonts, armadillos the size of cars, and terror birds, large flightless birds with powerful beaks. The Americas were also home to a wide variety of plant life, including coniferous, deciduous forests, grasslands, and deserts. But the arrival of humans in the Americas about 20,000 years ago led to significant changes in the continent's flora and fauna. Large mammals became extinct because of hunting and climate change, and agriculture and deforestation greatly altered the landscape. So who were these first people? How did the indigenous population even come to be there? Give me a like and I'll tell you about it. So, about 20,000 years ago, the first people crossed from Siberia to Alaska over a land bridge that is now buried under the Bering Strait. We all know about it. These people probably followed large herds of animals such as bison and mammoths. They were skilled hunters and tool makers. Over time, these groups spread and formed different cultures, languages, leading to the development of some pretty interesting civilizations such as the Maya, Aztecs, Incas, and various Native American tribes throughout North America. These people were engaged in agriculture, science, and technology. Not as much technology as you and I have, of course, but it was interesting too. It was several thousand years before European explorers decided to make their way to the Americas. This had a tremendous impact on the life that already existed there. First, Europeans brought with them diseases that the native population had never encountered before, such as smallpox and measles. This had devastating effects on many groups, and their population dwindled, but that was not all. Europeans also brought with them new plants and animals that changed the landscapes of the Americas forever. Crops such as wheat and rice became staples in many people's diets, and animals such as horses and cattle roamed the plains. This led to a new way of life and farming methods, which in turn developed new technologies and trade networks. The arrival of Europeans, however, had a dark side. Indigenous people were often forced into slavery or servitude, and their lands were stolen or taken by force. This led to violent conflict and the displacement of many communities. So you and I come to a very sad chapter in history. A dark part of America's past. It was a practice where people were treated as property, not people, and were not allowed any rights or freedoms. This was common during the colonial period and was fueled by the slave trade, which brought millions of Africans to America to work as slaves. They were forced to toil for long hours under harsh conditions, enduring floggings, beatings, and even torture. Slavery was finally abolished in the United States in 1865 after the Civil War, but it had an indelible effect on American society. To this day, many people still face discrimination and inequality around the world. Let's continue. Over the next 200 years, America experienced many significant events and changes. Let's start with industrialization. Remember when everyone was farming and living off the land? Yes, but that all changed when factories and machines came along. The Industrial Revolution began in late 18th century Britain and spread to the United States. Then people flocked to the cities to work in the factories, and the country was abuzz with new ideas and inventions. Speaking of new ideas, let's talk about technology. From the invention of the telephone to the advent of social media, technology has changed the way we live, work and interact with each other. Can you imagine a world without smartphones or the internet? By the way, the first phone was invented by Alexander Graham Bell in 1876, and the internet was created in the 1960s by the US Department of Defense. Of course, not all change goes smoothly. The civil rights movement was a long and difficult struggle, but the end result was worth it. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 banned discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex or national origin and was a great victory for the civil rights movement. And let's not forget immigration. America has always been a melting pot of cultures and peoples, and that's what makes us so unique. From the first colonizers who came by boat to today's dreamers looking for a better life. By the way, here's an interesting fact for you. The first successful English colony in America was founded in Jamestown, Virginia, in 1607. But not everything is so bright and sunny. Over the years, the environment has suffered greatly, and man has only recently begun to realize the true extent of the damage done. Thus came the environmental movement, which gained momentum in the 1960s and 70s, leading to the creation of the Environmental Protection Agency in 1970 and the passage of major environmental laws such as the Clean Air Act and the Clean Water Act. And finally, political polarization. It's like we're all arguing about who gets to control the TV remote control, but instead of just changing the channel, we're ready to start a war over it. Political polarization has intensified in recent decades, with both political parties becoming more ideologically divided and less willing to compromise. In conclusion, the history of the Americas is a rich tapestry of events that have shaped the continent for millions of years. From the collapse of Pangea to the emergence of the first humans, the impact of colonization and slavery, the Industrial Revolution, and modern technology, America has undergone significant changes. America's history is a story of triumphs as well as struggles, and it is important to remember and learn from it all. That's it for today. Tell us in the comments what you think about all of this. Like it and subscribe to the channel to learn as much as you can about how amazing this world is.